And you see, that was just a fucking weird movie. Because, as you said, Tristan, it was storming when we went in, and bright and sunny when we came out.
Yeah.
It's almost like it coincided way too damn well.
Yes, it did.
Y'all are gonna hate me when I have my opinion to share.
Okay, then go first.
No, before we do so, I think we ought to get a couple of things out of the way first. First, moment of silence for someone who could not be here with us. Isara Iwasaki was originally supposed to join us, but other things came up, so we will share her thoughts regarding Mothra and what happened in the movie as the podcast moves along.
She cried when she thought Godzilla died.
Yeah.
We're just going to spoil this movie, by the way.
Yeah, spoiler alert, in case you haven't guessed by the title, if I even put that in the title.
Can you really call that a spoiler? I mean, it's Godzilla King of Monsters. You know he's not gonna die.
No, I mean, we're actually going to spoil the movie.
Why? That's a little malicious.
Your point?
When do we start spoiling shit?
Since Avengers Endgame.
We've always spoiled shit. Okay, we'll talk about it normally first, and then we'll spoil it.
Yeah, but before we get to the movie itself, let's talk about criticism.
I was going to save that for last.
Oh, I thought we were just going to do that first.
Nah, I think he wants to address the elephant in the room at the end.
Don't you normally address the elephant in the room first?
Not necessarily.
Well, sometimes I wanted to save my thoughts on the critics for the end, because I have some shit to say.
Alright, well, we'll save the criticisms for the end and get to criticizing this movie first.
Yes, no, I will go last. So, Brendan, go first.
I thought the movie was fine.
Okay.
Just fine. There were a few times where the hype of the moment really got me, like when Godzilla was going nuclear on Ghidorah's ass. I can say that because, as you told me before, there was a scene in the trailer that pretty much gave us that information.
I thought it was a toy that spoiled that for us.
It was a toy that spoiled for us. I'll talk about that in a few.
Right. But overall, I felt that it had similar issues with the Godzilla movie, because I felt it's, except for the beginning as well, because we do see sort of, it follows after 2014, so it's sort of a slow build-up, with the exception of a few monsters here or there before we see Godzilla. And I'm fine with that. But the human characters still bothered me quite a bit.
Okay, Tristan? Thoughts?
Just
Quick thoughts before... We're just going to do quick thoughts, and we'll have a general discussion, and then we'll do spoilers.
Okay.
So, Tristan, your thoughts?
Badass movie. Hated some of the humans. Great action. Love the monsters.
That it?
Bitch.
Okay. So pick the phone up real quick.
You're gonna flip the table?
Fuck yes!
Did we all just have... throughout the podcast up to now, we each have flipped the table.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, I flipped it for I think it was Captain Marvel shit.
Yeah.
With you, it was like the Fox Trinity of shit.
Yep.
And that only difference is Tyler's flip was for excitement.
Oh my god, I love this movie!
Take a wild guess what his number one is gonna be.
How can it not be?
Well,
hell, I think it's gonna be my number one at this point.
No, it might
you
be.
did a list.
It might be a bit of a war. Well, I knew it was going to be a war going into the year. Like, okay, it's going to be between Heaven's Feel and Godzilla, and that's still my. I'm going to give it a few more watches, but at the moment, that's the war. Heaven's Feel or Godzilla?
At the moment, this is the second time you've seen this movie.
Yes.
You saw it in...
Yeah, I saw it in IMAX on Thursday night.
Yeah. Bet you're jealous of Andre Meadows, though. He got to see it in
You got to
Japan.
see it in Tokyo, like
Yeah.
in Toho Studios.
Damn.
Which, this is sort of... I guess that's technically a shout-out to Black Nerd Comedy, because I love that guy.
Who doesn't?
Well, he's not really a critic, but he's still one of the best critics we have. Anymore. So, quick thoughts now. General discussion, I suppose. I hate the human characters in this movie.
I like a few of them.
Fuck Emma.
Vera Farmiga?
Yeah, the character, I'm just going to call her Emma or the mother, because it's like there's a father character, Mark, played by
Kyle Chandler.
Kyle Chandler, yeah. He was in Game Night, and I liked him in Game Night. And
I like him in a lot of things, because he was also in the 2005 King Kong. And he's going to be in Godzilla vs. Kong.
So he already has experience then.
Yeah.
Technically. Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember much of any other movies he's in, but I like his work. As Tristan will tell you, he thought the child character was fucking useless until the very end.
Yeah, she actually did something.
Which is a lot more than you can say for other children in monster movies.
Yeah.
Unless it's Gamera, in which case they're just sending him their energy with spirit bomb magic.
Well, I'm the only person who's familiar with the young actress, so...
What was she in?
Millie Bobby Brown, she's from Stranger Things.
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah, I haven't watched Stranger Things.
I tried to. It bored me.
You'll probably like it because you really liked it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also want to see Castle Rock, but I don't have Hulu. Well, let's just keep this going. Mothra was beautiful.
That was really well done.
Oh,
she was adorable.
I fucking love Mothra in this movie. She didn't get to do too much.
Yeah.
No, she did not.
But
that was also something else that I was upset about regarding that Mothra, with how pretty it was, didn't really do much in the movie. But what she did was epic.
I was kind of expecting that going in because the whole time, like, this movie was being marketed, it's like we got Rodan's
one scene
marketing quite a bit, but it was essentially just being marketed as Godzilla versus Ghidorah.
One of the rematches of the century.
Yeah, which is exactly what I wanted going in, because it's like that's always been the rivalry in this series. It's Godzilla and Ghidorah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to. I went in. I wanted to see them fight.
And we saw them fight.
Yeah.
We also saw a number of other quick glances at other kaiju monsters, and was that another fucking Muto?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that was another Muto or however it's pronounced. How many of those do you think are here? Does that mean that there's possibly another Godzilla somewhere?
Apparently, I've looked into this. Like, there's tie-in comics.
Okay.
There was a Muto Prime that Godzilla killed.
So it's just safe to say that there's a nest out there?
Essentially, the Mutos are supposed to be his predator. But I get...
That clearly didn't pan out.
No, I'm guessing that, like, after what the Muto probably saw here, it was just like, nah, I don't want none of that.
You already killed two of my bros.
3, at least. Because there was the Muto Prime in the Aftershock comic.
Yeah.
Okay, so he killed two of my bros and my leader. I ain't having any of that shit.
Yeah. I don't think this movie is meant to be taken that seriously.
It's not.
Yeah, because they just, like, do science babble, and while parts of it can make sense, if you really think about it, it's bullcrap.
Yeah.
It's science fantasy. It's more science fiction fantasy.
Well, yeah,
than
giant.
anything else.
It's about a giant lizard who spits atomic fire. So you have to suspend your. What's the phrase?
Disbelief.
Suspend your disbelief. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I can't think of that.
You talk about how you hated it. I think the human characters are fine. They're serviceable. I like them more than Aaron Taylor Johnson in 2014.
I forgot about him.
Exactly.
Ford was just bland.
Because they actually have a character and an arc to them.
Yeah, Ford was mostly just bland, just being coincidentally wherever.
Yeah, the one thing that they established that Ford knows how to do is defuse bombs.
And he doesn't do that.
And he doesn't get to do it. No, he doesn't even do it.
Oh, right.
They get to it and they're like, oh, I can't defuse this.
Yeah, I say he hated the human characters. I hated one human character in particular, Emma, the mother.
Yeah,
Yep.
I didn't hate her really.
I thought Mark was fine. I thought Maddie had her moment of redemption where she actually did something, and I appreciated that. I found Emma to be completely convoluted and delusional.
And full of herself.
Well, that was the point.
Well, yeah.
She's acting more or less out of grief than anything else.
Yeah,
It's still pretty damn
I have just
stupid.
seen that so many damn times
Now,
about people who are like saying that the Earth, we've been killing the Earth and whatnot, and while it may be true, you get tired of hearing it after a while. The earliest point I can remember hearing someone say, "Oh, you have polluted the Earth and you're making it hard for animals and people to live in and bullshit," was Power Rangers Wild Force, and it really didn't pan out there either, despite it was supposed to.
Captain Planet. Hey,
I've seen
I
that.
didn't actually watch Captain Planet, but there's another good example.
There's another Godzilla movie that does that idea way worse. The 90s Godzilla versus Mothra. Because this movie doesn't preach to us, which I really liked. Because that's the bad guy plan, is like, we gotta save the Earth by unleashing monsters. Like, no, that's stupid.
Yeah,
But, whereas, in the 90s Godzilla vs. Mothra, it's the preachiest shit ever.
Yeah, I do get that they didn't really preach it to us, but because I've heard it so often, that one good solid maybe 5 minutes of talking about that, and whenever they bring it back up again with the evil militia and whatnot, it just really dragged a little bit. At least in my opinion. You guys can think how you want, but that's just how I think.
It's so not the focus that it didn't even bother me.
Yeah, you're able to look past that, because for me, I was still waiting for the monsters to actually show up. And there are moments where when we see the monsters, they continue panning right
you were
back.
waiting for them to show up. They had already shown up quite a bit.
Yeah, but they don't stay on them for very long on occasions.
And,
for example,
No, they stay on them for the exact amount of time they need to.
well, I kept getting bugged by, like in the scene in Antarctica, where Godzilla, Ghidorah, round one, they're fighting, and then we just pan right back down with all the other human characters.
Yeah, because you gotta make sure they get the safety and they're safe and all that other blah, blah,
Who cares
blah.
about the humans in a monster
But anyone
movie?
ever know,
We still don't want to see them die.
I do.
But anyone else ever like...
That's because you're a monster. That's why.
I'm not as much of a...
Vera Farmiga.
I am not as much a
No,
monster
you even
as
admitted
Emma.
it on the car ride home.
What?
That you would be the one in her situation.
Yeah, I'd
You would do
sacrifice myself.
Hypocrite! Hypocrite!
I'd sacrifice myself for you guys. I wouldn't destroy the planet to do that.
Well, she wasn't trying to destroy the planet.
She literally said we have to save the planet by unleashing these things, and it will destroy it.
No, we're gonna get to the spoiler, because I've got to explain this to you, apparently, because you weren't paying attention.
Because I get it. But anyone else ever noticed the fact I was trying to say many times before is like, all that was her idea and the old guy was just in it for the ride?
No, it was...
it was both the idea.
He is still a terrorist. He is still
I know,
trying
but
to kill
still,
people.
the fact is that it's like she was a ringleader. She was just trying to feign.
More or less.
Yeah, and despite whatever I'm saying, I'm not saying the movie was bad. The monster action... Well, Tyler clearly thinks that I'm hung up on the human shit.
Yeah, then let's talk about the monster action real quick.
Yeah, I was waiting so long for Mothra to show back up, because I kept expecting that, like when we got the fight, we would get a sort of like a Jurassic World moment where the T-Rex and the Raptor were double teaming the Indominus Rex. I kind of expected Godzilla and Mothra to double team Ghidorah, but Rodan swoops in.
You couldn't forget Rodan's in this movie.
I kind of
And
did.
Rodan's kind of a bitch.
And Marvel gets caught by Rodon.
Yeah, I'm technically stealing this from Andre, but he makes a very excellent point in the fact that Rodan is very much like the Starscream in this movie, because when he's free, he's like, "Wee, I'm free!" But the moment an Alpha steps in and curb stomps him, he's like, "Hello, may I shine your shoes?"
Yeah, he is.
Remember, he kind of has the same shape.
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rodan's always kind of been a bitch.
Yeah, he does that the first time, like, Ghidorah's, like, doing the wing flapping and roaring. You see in the screen footage that the humans are looking at, Rodan just swoops down as, like, may I suck your dick? And then he does it again at the end when Godzilla claims his throne as king of the monsters. So, I think the point we can all make here is that Rodan's a bitch.
Because I'm pretty sure it was the first one that bows, because Rodan heard what happened to Muto Prime and that Muto in the first movie. You know, the atomic breath right down the throat.
I mean, he did just get his ass handed to Ghidorah, and I guess he probably thinks that Ghidorah's the one that killed Godzilla right there.
Probably. Yeah, and then, boy, was he surprised when Godzilla came back.
Anyway, I guess we have to go into spoilers now.
Alright, we'll go into spoiler territory. How to start this spoiler discussion. I don't think there's a more perfect way that you could have, like, started this movie. It's like, we see the aftermath of 2014, and it skips ahead to them trying to, like, release Mothra, which I found to be a pretty good start to it.
Oh, yeah, I love that. The first time and this time, when the larva was being born, I just got goosebumps and so much nostalgia.
You were shaking in your fucking seat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and bringing Ai back into the conversation, she was completely blown away every time she saw Mothra, which I think is supposed to be the idea.
Well, Mothra's kind of the show stealer in this movie, yet she also gets the least amount of screen time.
Yeah.
She's like one of those Christmas poppers. Like, you know, very flashy, makes a big presence, but very little payoff.
Yeah, it doesn't stay very long.
Except you don't get a paper crown out of it.
Yeah.
And
which, again, I was kind of expecting that. Because Michael Dougherty, the director, he said his favorite kaiju in the series is Rodan. So
he gave Rodan.
And then I knew for a fact that the movie was basically going to focus on the Godzilla Ghidorah rivalry.
Yeah, but Rodan actually got screen time.
So I knew if anybody was going to get the least amount of... If anybody was going to get the shaft in this movie, it was going to be Mothra.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, but Rodan had some surprisingly badass moments, but...
Because Rodan is a badass kaiju. It's just he's also kind of a bitch.
Yeah, Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly... going back to the stupidity of the human characters real quick, they couldn't recognize the pattern of the whole stuff with the alpha and whatnot. Even a child could figure that out.
Pretty much. I also can we also start to mention the fact, like, all this shit would never have happened if that bitch Emma decided to wake up any other monster but Ghidorah.
Yeah, again, this is why her motivations are destructive, yes, but she was trying to actually bring life back to the planet, because they even show, it's like, okay, after the attack on San Francisco was abandoned, but life was starting to grow back. But because Ghidorah is an alien in this movie...
Which
I love the fact that he's an alien in this movie, because that's his original origin.
Which also opens up more cosmic aspects for future movies.
Yeah, which opens up a lot more. But Emma's thought process was that she would awaken the Titans gradually. They would cause a bit of destruction, but life would eventually grow back. Everybody would be able to eventually cause symbiosis, better the planet in the long run. But Ghidorah isn't from the planet. He's terraforming it, essentially, to suit his own needs.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think we've all established that Ghidorah's an asshole.
Yeah, therefore it completely derailed what her idea was. Because it's like, okay, because of what he's doing, it's going to destroy the planet. It's not going to bring life back.
So basically, what her whole entire plan was.
I'm not saying it's good.
No, I'm saying it's like a more destructive, dumbass version of Magneto's plan with the Phoenix and X-Men: The Last Stand. just backfiring completely worse off than...
backfiring simply because the first one they decided to awaken happened to be an alien.
Yep. Like, it's like those things like, what have I done? When the things are just going batshit.
Actually, and we'll get more into this next week, but I think that was probably just him looking at the audience because he realized how much the movie sucked.
I mean, this... Possibly. But in this case right here, like, oh, shit. If we needed more data. We needed more data. Why didn't we listen to the Asian girl?
Yeah, the one with the whole mythology.
It's like, the two Japanese people who actually won the more team.
Speaking of the Asian woman, you know, she's just a walking reference to the past movies, because did you notice that she was also at the Mothra site?
Yeah.
Her twin sister. And it's a reference to the Mothra twins.
I knew it. I figured she had to be something akin to that.
Neat.
Yeah, I'm third generation monarch. She would be third generation monarch.
Apparently.
Right.
And it just keeps going on like this. Like, the two Japanese people are the ones that had all the answers to begin with.
Well, her and Kyle Chandler.
Well, okay, and him too.
Which, yeah, like, I get some of the people's problems with him, saying, like, he always has the answers for everything.
Well, that's kind of what he was...
It's mostly just common sense.
But he was an animal... He studies animal behavior, so he would have
anthropology.
He would have a decent idea of how animals work, and whereas like militaristic people are more on the we don't know what the fuck these things are, so it's like
Kill first, ask questions
we gotta
later.
defend ourselves.
Yeah, but wouldn't anyone in a military take notes or anything like that?
Not really.
Wow, you'd think they'd think first.
They don't.
No.
That's why wars happen.
Well, more idiots, I guess. Oh yeah, another reason why you can't take this movie too seriously is because one of my, I don't want to say one of my favorite lines, but it is one of my favorite lines. But you know where I'm going. Oh my God, Zilla. Who was that guy? The guy in the glasses. Basically, he acted kind of like Rick.
Because that's what he was modeled after.
I love that guy.
His name is even Rick Stanton.
How do you like that, Tristan? A Rick and Morty reference in a kaiju movie.
So that's the second one then. because Madison's laptop had a Rick sticker on it.
Oh boy. You are not happy.
It was like,
The first two seasons of Rick and Morty are pretty good.
Yeah, that was that.
They're working on season 4. Or 5, whatever they're on.
The next 70 episodes.
70?
Yeah.
Wow.
70 plus, I should say.
The fan base is awful.
Well,
very awful.
Back to King of the Monsters.
Oh man, that was a great movie. Seriously, at the end of that where Godzilla was resting, was that meant to be Atlantis?
I don't think it was meant to be Atlantis.
I thought it was Atlantis.
This movie reminds me very much of the Gamera Heisei movies. Like, the whole MonsterVerse really does. Especially, this one's almost structured like one.
Maybe they're making
where it's
way for Gamera.
I hope, but enemy monster rises up, Godzilla comes to fight it, something happens to him. In this case, the oxygen destroyer gets used. Which, of course, that wouldn't work on Ghidorah, because he can survive in a vacuum.
But Gerald further proves that he's a freaking alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are his papers?
He goes, rests for a bit, then comes back and kicks its ass. That's basically the Gamera Heisei trilogy in a nutshell.
They're really just trying to set that up. That's like Brendan's saying.
I don't think that they don't. I don't think they have the rights to Gamera.
It's not
maybe they're trying to leave little breadcrumbs, so by the time they finish with a few more Godzilla movies, like Kong and Godzilla and whatever, how many other sequels they'll try and just throw Gamera at you when they get the rights.
It depends so much on how much money these two movies make.
At the moment, I think Godzilla is going to make quite a bit of money.
Yeah, I think it will. Godzilla vs. Kong is going to make shit tons.
It'll be one of the best versus movies of the decade. Way better than Batman v Superman.
I'll say.
Again.
Save Mothra.
Seriously, we gotta get to DC debate. I am itching to get started on that.
Alright, fine. We'll watch Man of Steel next time we hang out.
Excellent.
Oh, let's talk about that last fight.
Yeah, that is where the movie sort of wrapped it all nicely for me.
Oh, that was gorgeous.
We got
this is
great.
This is like the best fight I've ever seen Godzilla and Ghidorah have.
It feels like that Ghidorah was, like if it was a video game, Ghidorah was that really cheap character, like Meta Knight in Super Smash Brawl. And he kept using cheap-ass moves like picking Godzilla up into the stratosphere and then just like bombing him onto the city.
I've never seen that happen before.
Which, well, not that surprising. They used to use like models and
they had to use
costumes and whatnot.
Puppetry.
Yeah, but since they're using CGI, which is great CGI, you can honestly...
It's actually been a pretty damn good year for CGI.
Yeah, the CGI in this movie's great. It helps that they're not men in rubber suits, but they are the next best thing.
Mocap?
Yeah, mocap.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, which they had 3 different people mocapping Ghidorah.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Ghidorah kept beating himself up.
He kept the middle head kept picking on the
left head.
One.
Yeah,
it was fun. I love how they portray Ghidorah.
It's like the left head is somewhat was like childish and retarded, and like the middle head is just the annoying older brother, and then the right one just exists.
The annoyed older brother? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it is. Wouldn't it be funny when the fact is that Ghidorah is actually a compound name, and each headed head was Ghidorah and Ra?
Maybe. But yeah, they also called him a Hydra.
Well, that's simply because his heads can grow back.
Hail Hydra! I honestly expected him to I'm 2 heads to grow back.
Anytime I hear Hydra, I still just think of the mythological creature. I will never think of Marvel when someone says that.
Lucky you.
Yeah, every time I hear Hydra, I instantly think of Red Skull in the old comic books. I think that's how you feel too, Tristan. It's alright, buddy. It's alright.
I have my own gripes with the whole Hellraiser thing.
Yes.
Trust me on that one.
Yes, but
we'll get to that, wait.
The last...
We probably could have covered that in Captain America the First Avenger when we did the recap.
Oh, that was just me basically shitting on every single fan.
Yes, because you hate Marvel.
No, I'm talking about, well, that too, but I was talking about I hate the fans.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway...
Hi.
The last fight, how it's basically the battle of dominance between Godzilla and Ghidorah, and the battle for screen time between Mothra and Rodan.
How weird would it have been if it just ended up being a giant monster orgy? That would have just been so weird. Also, I like the theory that I've got because people were bitching about Godzilla's look in the first one, right?
Yeah.
And how they changed it. I think Godzilla is just like constantly evolving as he grows. So,
that makes sense.
So, he's probably going to look a little bit different in Kong versus
I don't think
Godzilla.
he's going to look that different, because there was an explanation for his spines changing, at least in high-end media.
My thing is, I think he's actually just like, this is just literally age progression.
It could be that too.
It's literally 5 years since the first one.
Yeah, but he's like millions of years old, so...
It still grows, especially with all the radiation that humankind has developed itself.
Yeah. That's true too.
I mean, then it's all started waking up around a freaking nuclear power plant.
Well, yeah, that's what brought him back to life, or something like that. But yeah, doesn't this just continuously play into your theory that it's eventually just going to turn into the Pokemon series?
Very much so.
I mean, it's not, but
I know it's not, but still, it's kind of like that hypothesis, that fan theory that all of Joss Whedon's movies happens in one Joss Whedon's works happen in one universe.
That's retarded.
Well, this one...
It's not as dumb as the idea of Emperor Kuzco and Kronk turning into Buzz Lightyear and Emperor Zurg.
Who the fuck? Nah, never mind.
Anyway, but yeah, that just kind of plays into my own little hypothesis, is that because Legendary Pictures is doing the Pokemon Cinematic Universe and is doing the Monsterverse.
Didn't you see the Power Rangers movie too?
Legendary did not do the Power Rangers movie.
Actually, I think it did.
That's Lionsgate.
Oh yeah, it is Lionsgate. But yeah, look,
Legendary seems to be doing all the monster movies now. Jurassic World.
Legendary?
Yeah. Godzilla, Pacific Rim.
Yeah, too bad we'll never get a crossover anymore because Pacific Rim Uprising sucked. Should have come back, Del Toro.
yeah.
He was too busy making Shape of Water. So.
Go ahead, Tristan. Continue.
But yeah, there's just some little tidbits here and there. It's more like a fun thing, nothing they really take seriously, my hypothesis, but still. I mean, could you just imagine, especially since Ken Watanabe is in both franchises?
He's dead now, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean he did like some kind of Osprey or something down the line.
Oh yeah, let's talk about Ken Watanabe's death in this. That was
the best character moment in the movie.
Yeah,
that hurt.
That was a character moment.
Why couldn't he just turn back into a snubble?
Again, the human stuff in this movie is better than 2014 because the characters actually have arcs.
Yep.
Did I say that the stuff with Ford was better than this movie?
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I wore this shirt today right here. You can't see it, but it's a Stars Laboratory shirt, and this is basically what I'm just blaming on. Like they were behind Mark with all the technology.
That's fair.
It's still Warner Brothers.
But yeah, it feels like that's like a moment of the creator touching his creation, even though he didn't create.
No, he didn't.
But he had to be. He was easily Godzilla's biggest fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He literally died for him.
Yeah. Let them fight. Now let me die for him. Oh.
Too bad I will never see the fight.
No, let them fight. Let us join the fight this time.
No, Kyle said that.
I know, but still, it's basically piggybacking on that.
Yeah. This time we joined the fight. This time we joined.
They didn't even really need him to actually join the fight because it just they're just dropping like flies for the most part.
They were.
Well, Doherty said he has like a 3-hour cut of this movie somewhere.
Maybe that'll be an extended version.
And maybe we'll see that version. It might have more character development. I'm sure we'll get more of the humans actually fighting against Ghidorah, like the Washington fight.
I want to see how the hell the managed to actually contain Rodan to begin with.
Huh.
Well, Rodan was in hibernation.
I know, but it still managed to actually put an actual decent latch over him for the most part.
And it's like, oh, he's in this volcano. Oh, let's put this thing over the volcano so he doesn't just get out.
Let's just plug it.
Put a cork in it.
How many times does a cork actually solve a problem, though? It eventually comes right back out the ass. And bites them. Yeah, but I made a joke to you when Rodan was rising because it was so reminiscent of classic Power Rangers where when the pterodactyl is summoned it flies out of a volcano. So maybe Super Sentai took that idea from Rodan and Godzilla.
It did.
So yeah.
Alright, so with that being said...
Oh, real quick though. For some reason, I kept thinking of Commander Birdie whenever I saw Rodan's face from SPD. I don't know why. Probably because it was just a bird, and I just kept thinking right back to it. It's like, why am I thinking of this? Okay, move on. What were you guys going to say?
Like, we gotta figure out... we gotta watch the rest of the movies that come out eventually... So that way we can finally see if there's a T-Rex looking dinosaur, well, a T-Rex looking kaiju, a saber-tooth kaiju, and a Triceratops kaiju, because we have the Mastodon kaiju, and we have Rodan. So will they actually combine their DNA together and create a Megazord kaiju?
I wish.
I mean, with Godzilla, that's already Dragonzord.
Yeah, it's fair.
And with Ghidorah... That is the Green Hydra Megazord from the RPG.
RPG. What?
You know the Power Hyperforce. That's it.
Oh.
Because that's what Green Ranger's mech is. It's a Hydra.
Oh, you've got to be shitting me.
Yeah. At first he was just Time Force Silver, and then became Green Hyperforce, and his mech is a 6-headed Hydra.
Oh boy, I need to read more Hyperforce. That or continue watching those gameplays with the actual people who are behind it. Regardless, there is a lot of tokusatsu references in this too.
Well, tokusatsu is basically...
Godzilla's it's very Godzilla referenced.
Well, yeah, tokusatsu is it's a mother genre of all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a Godzilla. This movie's a Godzilla fan's wet dream. Like, we got the oxygen destroyer. We got my favorite Godzilla reference to past Godzilla is the end of the fight with burning Godzilla.
Which probably would have been way better for you if it didn't get spoiled by a damn toy.
If the fucking toys didn't spoil that.
It's just like Shazam with the Funko Pops.
Yeah.
Like 2 to 3 weeks before the movie, all 6 of the Shazam family members were there as Funko Pops in the stores.
That's why I try not to pay attention to stuff like that.
I can't help it. It's like right there. I work around it.
That's right. Sucks to be you.
Yeah, and then, after we get burning Godzilla, we get an attack I never thought America even realized Godzilla had. The nuclear pulse.
So does he just have that permanently now, or can he only do that when he's burning?
He probably has a permanent version of it, but I don't think he would need to be supercharged to make it that powerful.
So, how many more nuclear warheads do we have to, pump into Godzilla's system?
We got tons of those.
Let's try not to let that happen again.
Yeah, let's try not to do that.
Let's try not to create Shin Godzilla.
Anybody else realize, they destroyed his house?
I noticed that too!
They destroyed... I don't think Godzilla...
Yeah, I was gonna say something, but we were in the middle of it.
When Godzilla rose up, I don't think he was like, oh man, that dude just died. He was like, you motherfuckers destroyed my pad, jerks.
Yeah, I was going to mention something along those lines in the theater, but that's what mostly stuck out to me. Because it was a big kaboom. There was a big Godzilla house-shattering kaboom.
Nice Looney Tunes reference.
Thank you. And now, where's Godzilla gonna live? On the... Do you think...
He does just tend to swim around.
Do you think that they might end up creating something attuned to Monster Island?
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm thinking Skull Island's gonna be Monster Island. Because the end credits, all the stuff monsters converging on Monster Island, monarch forces being set up around it.
That's what I'm thinking. They also showed another island before this on the Skull Island newspaper reel.
Yeah, you think they're gonna, mention the other monsters in Kong versus Godzilla?
I'd imagine.
It's also,
that's probably why Kong's gonna fight him. He's like, stop bringing all these motherfuckers to my house. I don't want to party.
Now, speaking of Kong, why he didn't when Ghidorah did the huge call and got all the monsters out of hibernation to destroy everything, do his bidding.
Yeah, Kong didn't.
Yeah, I'm gonna just assume that Kong heard him roar and he was like, "What's that, bitch? I don't listen to you. I'm staying right here."
Hey, bitch, look what I got. Opposable thumbs.
You don't even have hands!
Hey, look this. Hey, look this. Hey, Godzilla. Fuck you.
That's right, Kong is totally capable of flipping the bird to Godzilla.
He probably learned it from John C. Reilly.
I'm looking forward to Kong vs. Godzilla now because of all this potential.
I better see an old John C. Reilly.
No, he'd be dead at this point. He was
a
World War II veteran.
I know, but still, can you just imagine just him in a wheelchair that's going a little senile? Just talking about a giant ape?
Leave Kong alone! He's gonna kick your ass, motherfuckers!
Because it looks like he did stop aging when he was on Skull Island.
No.
Yeah, so notice, does this mean that Kong is going to try to fight to be alpha?
Kong could potentially be another alpha.
Or the fact
he is. Well, I'd imagine that Kong, that species, is an alpha species.
Because they have opposable thumbs?
Yeah, that's one reason.
Or it could just be the fact, Kong's gonna fight Zilla, get your fat lizard ass off my island!
He'll probably say that to all the other monsters, too.
Especially you woolly mammoth-looking bitch.
At least there's at least 17
and counting.
Yeah.
And the potential for more, they used the oxygen destroyer. Godzilla fans knows that led to another monster down the line.
Mechagodzilla?
Destroyer.
Oh.
Yeah, because, okay, if there is a kind of a problem I kind of have with them using Ghidorah right now, is like, okay, that's essentially like using Thanos in Avengers 2. Because, like, Ghidorah's the big bad.
That's true.
However, if there would be another big threat kaiju to the world, it would be Destroyer.
But that's not to mention a thing. Like, hasn't like Ghidorah actually resurrected in the past and came came back in different forms and even worse off than before?
Yeah.
Wasn't there like an actual cosmic Ghidorah?
Well, let me just get into that real quick. So, in the Showa era, there really was only the one Ghidorah. He just kept running away.
Pussy.
Until, Godzilla vs. Gigan's set between Monster Zero and Destroy All Monsters. But in Destroy All Monsters, they kill him. In the Heisei era, he only ever showed up once because he was a monster created by the future people of Earth. It was like they went back in time, they replaced the dinosaur that became Godzilla with 3 animals from their time that all, when the nuke went off, combined to form Ghidorah. Him and Godzilla fight in the modern time. Godzilla defeats him, tears off one of its heads. Later on, a Mecha Ghidorah comes from the future. And then the Millennium era is so full of reboots. Like, almost every other movie's a reboot. So we get the Ghidorah in GMK, who is essentially an ancient protector of Japan in that movie, and we get Kaiser Ghidorah, which is a different subspecies in Final Wars. However, in the Rebirth of Mothra series, the first movie, Mothra Leo, who's a male version of Mothra, that comes after the female dies. Stop raising your hand. I'll get to that. I'll get to you in a minute. I'm trying to explain things.
I know. Just keep explaining. I'm like a kid in class right now. I'm waiting.
But there's a different species Ghidorah in that first movie called Death Ghidorah, or Death Ghidorah, who's essentially more bipedal, can't really fly too much, but is still incredibly powerful and dangerous. And then in the third movie, there is King Ghidorah and Grand King Ghidorah. So Ghidorah came in the dinosaur times and ate dinosaurs as snacks. And then in modern times, it's fully grown into Grand King Ghidorah, and it kidnaps a bunch of children and plans to put them in this orb and digest them.
Wow.
Okay, what's your question?
So, is it completely possible that if they wanted to, like, make this shit up, they could have Ghidorah grow back from that severed head that they found at the end of the credits?
Yes. If they wanted to.
Could he do that, period?
I don't know.
Because
Because that was the retarded head.
Retarded King Ghidorah. They're probably just gonna work that into Mecha King Ghidorah.
Yeah, I'm imagining
Or just
Mecha
clone
King
it.
Ghidorah. Yeah, use its DNA to create a new King Ghidorah. Could use it to create Destroya. That's always possible.
Because for anything that we all know, it probably could have gotten irradiated from the oxygen destroyer.
Yeah, it was in that water.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't fish there anymore.
Because that was not the left head then. Or was it?
It was the left head. It was the one that Godzilla tore off.
Wow.
Yeah, so it is the retarded head.
Because everything was dead from the radiation and the destruction in just that one spot alone. Like,
Yeah,
all the
not radiation, because the oxygen destroyer, what it does is it completely destroys oxygen, the oxygen particles within... it's never been used on land in any movie, because it was only ever really in the original Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
But it is known it affects water. It kills all the oxygen in water.
Wait, so that... Okay, so Godzilla tore off the left head. Epic second round, because I kept calling the last fight with Ghidorah the second round, but that's actually round 3. Godzilla rips it off. Epic, and he gets iodized, and the head, I guess, sinks to the bottom of the ocean. So, while everything else was going on around Boston and worldwide, the people of Isla de Marta, is that it?
Isla de Mara.
Isla de Mara, were they just working on fishing that head out of the sea?
Seems like it.
It seems they have their priorities straight.
Make some money off of this.
Yeah, don't try and save yourselves.
Yeah, and of course Charles Dance comes and buys the head.
Yeah,
Because he's part of the bioterrorist. He's the main bioterrorist. He's essentially the main human villain. I don't think we're going to get anything with that head in Godzilla vs. Kong. Because Charles Dance is not in the movie.
If anything, he might be at the end credits.
Yes. I really hope these movies make a ton of money, because I want to see more of them.
Yeah, you want your giant monsters fighting monsters to live.
Michael Dougherty says he would like to return. He'd like to make a Godzilla BC. See him and his first encounter with humans.
That would be interesting.
And he also wants to put in either Biollante or Gigan.
Yeah.
And that was the one that really sealed the deal for you, wasn't it?
Yes.
I want Baragon.
I want to see Biollante because, and considering that Charles Dance could be the creator of Biollante because he deals in DNA, and Biollante is just Godzilla and a plant.
I want Baragon.
I don't see him coming.
But
wasn't there like some kind of allusion to a bat in the end credits?
There was. Yeah.
Because I saw that.
Yeah, there was a bat.
Maybe Batra.
Still.
Batra's just a more vicious Mothra. So.
But still, because I thought Baragon was also part bat.
No, Baragon's all basically just
wolf.
Well, people call him the dog kaiju, even though he burrows underground.
Prairie dog?
Mole?
I guess.
He's
a lizard mole thing.
Well, bottom line is...
We're never going to see Varen.
Yeah, but...
Poor Varen.
My main point is that even though I do look forward to the rest of these movies, I still hope that your giant monsters fighting giant monsters succeeds, because our giant monsters fighting giant robots is on ice at the moment.
Pretty much.
Yeah, because Hasbro acquired the rights.
Thanks, Hasbro! You dumbed down the Power Rangers!
Yeah, we want to make a cinematic universe that includes Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Work on making a sequel first!
Remember, yeah.
Or how about this? Work on making your Transformers movies good first, because they want to also tie in that.
Yeah, and what was it?
Tyler and I were talking about this like a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, but real quick though.
Gem and the Holograms.
There was one other thing. There was one other thing that was brought up. That they want to bring Michael Bay back.
Oh, fuck. No, I don't think they want to bring Michael Bay back. They want to bring his style back, and I hate his style.
Anyway, Tristan, proceed.
When Tyler and I were hanging out the other night, we were actually just just sticking around on Wikipedia.
Uh-huh.
And apparently, because we were actually looking at stuff about Detective Pikachu, and it just kind of went down a really, really weird rabbit hole.
Is there an Illuminati joke in this?
No.
Or a Half-Life 3 joke?
No, it gets worse.
What's worse than a Half-Life 3 joke?
It's, Hasbro wants to do a Hasbro cinematic universe. Not only do they want to do G.I. Joe, the Transformers, the Power Rangers, but also other obscure 80s cartoons. Like Mask. Because they're playing a Mask movie.
Okay, when you say Mask, do you mean The Mask? Like
No.
Jim Carrey Mask?
No, the Mask as in where everyone has those helmets that have different powers. It was basically just one big giant commercial to sell toys.
Who the fuck watched that?
Quite a few people did.
Yeah, they're gonna reboot Max Steel, maybe.
Yeah. They also want to bring back Max Steel.
The last attempt at a Max Steel movie
Also,
sucked.
a couple other properties that I don't think anyone past the age of 30 doesn't even know the name of.
What?
I can't exactly remember it myself, but it's supposed to be like some kind of mystical kind of thing, where it's also kind of like it's essentially Dungeons and Dragons, kind of like with like a Beyblade twist to it.
Bakugan?
No. It was almost like trying to like Power Rangers before Power Rangers was Power Rangers over here.
Super Sentai?
Not even Super Sentai.
Masked Rider?
Oh, I remember one. It's kind of like the Mystic Knights of Tira Nog on Fox Kids.
The what?
Wow, I dated myself, didn't I?
Yes, you did. You just proved that you're old.
Let's not go into this because this is going to be a podcast in the future. I can tell you that much because
yeah, we'll say this.
They're going forward with it.
So basically, Hasbro Cinematic Universe, stuff we know about, stuff that is obscure as fuck, and other stuff that had an attempt at a movie, but they're just redoing it again.
Yep.
Hasbro, if you're listening to this, which I know there's like a negative 1% chance you're listening, work on a sequel first.
They won't because they just want to reboot it immediately.
Yep. Alright. I think that's the end of our...
No, we still got to talk about...
Move the phone.
Oh.
Second time, well, that's different from when I flipped it earlier.
That's the fourth time this table's been flipped. Table, you are a great sport.
Whoops.
I am not happy about that.
I don't think anybody is.
Ow! Ow.
Chill, dude, chill.
I'm trying to. I just bashed my head into a wall. Sadly, I'm not Hammerhead. The Marvel character, not the DC personality.
Now, I want to talk about movie criticism now.
Oh, yes, let's open up that box.
I've got some shit to say.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move forward on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get away from this because this is gonna be big.
Do I need to move the phone again?
No, you don't need to. I'm not gonna flip a table over it.
So critics don't like Battle Angel Alita because it's sexist.
Yeah.
They don't like Pet Sematary because it's too morbid and depressing.
Yeah.
And they don't like Godzilla because there's too much monsters.
Yep.
Thank you. I think we'll need these. I know you said no more food during a podcast, but Oreo is magic and we'll need it to calm down.
Oh, yeah.
So, they told me about this, what was it, yesterday? No, it was Thursday because I was at work when I got the message from you.
Yep.
Apparently, CNN does reviews online, and they're some of the most... Tristan, how would you describe...
No, let me talk about it, because this is my problem with because a lot of the critics did this, but CNN's like the biggest purveyor to me for it was first paragraph of their King of the Monsters review. They insult the franchise and the fan base. The dude acts like he is above it. And, like, it's not even deserving of getting anything.
Okay. Let me tell you. I can understand how you feel about that, because if someone... No, even worse. If someone said that to my face about something like Power Rangers, I'd start beating the shit out of them. I'd be proving their point of how much of a fucking... ballistic I am, but I don't give a fuck. They deserve it.
Oh, yeah.
And what do they even say regarding Pet Sematary and Battle Angel after that?
A lot of the stuff I saw for Alita, some of the criticism is fine, it's valid. I think anybody complaining that it was trying to set up stuff, I mean, it's the first part of it's just one part of a story that is supposed to continue. It's not supposed to be just one movie. It is meant to be more.
Because what was it?
But,
A manga?
you know, yeah, it was a manga. It's based on based on a pretty long manga. And people who complain about the romance in that movie, it's like that's the point of that romance, is that it's supposed to be kind of dopey
and go nowhere.
And
she's
cheesy because she's a
teenager.
Young.
She's a teenager.
They're both young. They don't know what they're doing. It's supposed to end tragically.
Yeah, I'd say it's almost kind of like
again.
Karen.
I've said I said this with I think that Tristan is like I can't wait for them to make a completely accurate, perfect Romeo and Juliet, and then them complain that the romance didn't work. That's the point.
Uh-huh. Now, before we get back to the monsters,
and then Pet Sematary. Like, I had my hang-ups with the Pet Sematary reboot, but none of them were that the story was too dark and depressing. Because that's the point of that story.
It's the point of the book.
It's dark and depressing.
It's supposed to be.
It's too... the story's too dark. It's like, yeah, it's an adaptation of a dark story.
About an event that could have happened. Well, not the bringing people back to dead thing, but about a family member dying.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be uncomfortable, depressing, and kind of
Oh my
scary.
god, this horror movie caused horror in me. Ah!
Isn't that kind of the whole point?
Now look, I am not going to defend them on that, but coming from like an essence of it, I'm not that big a fan of horror movies. I'm not that much of a fan of being scared, but I can appreciate a lot more than just the horror aspect of a horror movie. For example, Scream. I was kind of scared the first time I watched the first Scream movie because jump scares, but I can appreciate the choreography and the costumes that they went into that. And the twist at the end. So they need to shut the fuck up about horror movies and shit.
Well, at least in
I
terms
probably
of
sound like a hypocrite there, but whatever.
Anytime they talk about when it's too dark or depressing, especially for a story that's supposed to be dark and depressing, it's like, that's the point.
Yeah. I may not like getting scared, but I never said the story was too depressing or dark.
Yes.
I might say, wow, that was a lot more depressing than I expected it to be for a reboot. Which, in certain parts, it is. Which, we will discuss that. In fact, we have discussed it in a future thing regarding the Stephen King-a-thon, which we may have to end up redoing that.
Probably, because we went on too many tangents.
And the
dogs. A lot of stuff. Yeah, so
we'll take notes, and we'll do that next time.
Back to Godzilla.
Yeah, we went
so
off on a tangent.
Many problems with a lot of the critical response to Godzilla.
You mean...
Most of it is the fact that a lot of it's insulting.
Uh-huh.
And it completely acts like this franchise shouldn't get anything in the future, or have gotten anything in the past. My other problem is that they can't agree on anything for what the problems are. Like, I don't mind that they don't like the movie. They can't agree on it. Like, some people are like, oh, there's too much monster action. Some people are like, oh, there's too little monster action. Some people are like, oh, there's too much human drama. Some people are like, oh, there's too little human drama. It's like, okay, if you didn't like the human drama, that's fine. I liked it because it was very much in service to what's going on. I loved seeing this world being built. But...
Go on, continue.
But it's like, choose a criticism.
It makes...
No, and then don't get me started on Chris Stuckman. Like, okay, I have so many problems with some of the stuff he said in his review. Particularly when he was like, what made me start to dislike Chris Stuckman a lot was when he reviewed Shin Godzilla. And he was like, I like Godzilla, but all the human stuff is stupid because there's no characters. It's all just a bunch of boardroom meetings, and that's the point of the movie. The whole point is that it was about the Japanese bureaucracy not being able to deal with it. And then in this movie, like his Kong Skull Island review is like, whatever, he didn't like it, I don't care. In this one, at the end of his review, he's like, fans who like the Japanese Godzilla fans like them for for political satire and everything. And it's like, and you can, and then it's like you read through the comments and everybody's like, no, you do not speak for us. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, but that Japanese political satire is the thing you gave Shin Godzilla shit for.
Yeah,
You're retarded.
I thought I had some Coke Zero in the fridge because I don't drink alcohol and I don't enforce alcohol on you guys, so I just gave you guys something because it feels like we need a drink after this. So I'm assuming you unsubscribed from Chris Stuckman after
I
that.
unsubscribed from Chris Stuckman after Skull Island. So I came very close to unsubscribing from him after Shin Godzilla.
Yeah, at least Jeremy still has his shit together.
It's like, Jeremy didn't give this movie a positive review either, but he felt more real. My favorite negative...
What's this asshole on the review of Godzilla for CNN named Brian Lowry?
Yes. He also gave a negative review to us.
What? What's that?
Oh, yeah. He gave a negative review to Detective Pikachu also.
So this guy is a complete fuckwad. Oh, and in the event that CNN watches this, watch them flag us because we don't agree with them.
Of course they would. That's what they do.
Yeah, and we'll get it right back up because what laws are we breaking? What content are we discussing that they have rights to? I mean, we have our issues when we do reviews,
I looked
but
through
still.
Brian Lowry's critical thing. He gave Avengers Endgame a positive review, but he gave negative reviews to Detective Pikachu, which, okay, fine.
It's not
You
that
don't
bad,
like
though.
it, but whatever. Again, he doesn't like this movie, but my problem with his review is his
Indecisiveness?
his willingness to shit on the franchise and its fans,
Oh, okay.
calling all of us children.
He deserves to have a glass thrown at his head.
Sounds like someone who most likely got bullied in school.
He gave a negative.
And,
no, the thing that got me very much on his bad side in terms of his reviews. He gave a negative review to us.
I still have yet to see Us, but I heard it was phenomenally done.
I loved Us.
Yeah, of course. Now we probably just sound like people who they like the movie, so obviously they're not going to like people who dislike the movie.
I don't care.
It's not
I was about to say
valid
this.
criticism.
My favorite negative review of this movie is Dan Merle of Screen Junkies, because he said, it wasn't my thing, but I get why. I'd imagine the fans are gonna love this movie. You guys should go see it. I can't fully recommend it. It does have a lot of highlights. It's just not mine. It's just not my thing.
He still supports it, but he states that he has his problems with it.
Yeah.
I can live with that.
It's like I even put it in the comment section. It's like I thank you very much for being the most respectful out of all the negative reviews I've seen.
I kind of share instances of that because I like the monster action in the movie. And if I watch it again, then I watch it again. But I don't know if I'll watch it again more times than some of the other movies that I have on my list.
Honestly, because I am willing to get the first this and the past two movies on Blu-ray right now. There's probably not a chance to be watching them really so often as I would Detective Pikachu when that comes out. But I will get them though, because I'm not fully a huge Godzilla fan like you are, Tyler. But I hella respect the series and I actually like it.
Yeah, especially because you like Sentai.
Again,
Yeah.
Tokusatsu.
Yeah.
Boy, we went out on a tangent there, didn't we?
It wasn't really a tangent. It was.
Well, I was planning on talking about the criticism, especially after after Alita, Pet Sematary,
And now
this.
Godzilla.
It's I never said Rotten Tomatoes was trustworthy. I never said okay, that's the perfect, that's what quality is. I was always okay, that's a baseline. You can look at that and if it's got positive, you'll probably be I'll probably like it. If it's negative,
it stayed
I don't
in
even
the middle.
think I don't even believe that anymore.
It stayed in the middle between the line between hate and persuasion.
Yeah.
Or whatever I'm trying to say.
I don't even believe that anymore because it's clear that a lot of the critics that are up there are
Especially since they were
incredibly out of touch.
Especially since the Adams were actively deleting reviews when Captain Marvel came out.
Yeah, the user reviews, which I don't know. I don't really trust user reviews, especially I definitely don't trust them on Rotten Tomatoes because they're easy to bot.
Yeah, and they did.
They botted that for Captain Marvel.
It's IMDb's better with user reviews, even though they still have the whole problem of it's either perfect score or worst score.
Yeah.
But, jeez, I got it.
Yeah, it's like, how the fuck do some movies have such high critic reviews? How does Endgame have a 95?
Endgame has a 95 and what?
No, I'm asking. It's like, how did this many critics give it a positive review?
Bots.
Not because they don't bot them. The
Shills.
critics aren't bot shills. Well, almost definitely because it has been stated a few times that, by some critics even, like, I can't. There was an article and a video where one of them was explaining, like, it's like sometimes the critics will give good reviews because,
They like it?
no, because they got to fly out somewhere and they got a bunch of free stuff and food.
Bribery.
And, yeah, basically.
So you mean it's
shells?
So you mean #MovieGate?
Yes.
Moviegate? I don't think I've heard about this concept.
It's just basically a movie version of what happened with Gamergate.
Gamergate?
We'll explain this to you later.
Yeah, we'll explain this to you.
Gamergate's its own shit show.
Isn't it?
Currently, Animegate's a thing. People are calling it Weeb Wars, though.
It's a good title.
I like Weeb Wars.
So do I.
Weeb Wars works.
Because there was Gamergate, Metalgate, Comicsgate,
Comicsgate, which is still going on.
Animegate, the Weeb Wars. Sooner or later, someone's gonna finally, tell them to shove off, and there will be a Moviegate.
I think it's gonna start happening really soon.
I think Moviegate's already happened.
Last Jedi probably caused it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How does Last Jedi have a 90%?
I don't know.
Moviegate.
How does Captain Marvel have 79%?
It still has it that high.
That's my question.
Ah.
Apparently, Dad doesn't mind the movie too much.
My brother, I haven't seen it. I don't plan on seeing it. My brother's a thing on Captain Marvel was, it's not the best. It's not the worst, but it's also not very good.
I think the reason I hate it so much is because when we were this deep into the cinematic universe and they just throw a cog in the wrench or however that's saying.
Wrench in the machine.
For retcon things.
Yeah.
For wrench into plans.
Yeah, they retconned something that was practically more than 10 years in the making at this point. So, pardon me if I just find that a bit insulting.
It is. It is 10 years in the... It is 10 years in the making, actually. And then all the retcon crap.
Yeah, so forgive me if I find that a bit insulting.
It is. It really is.
Very much so.
Well,
I haven't seen Captain Marvel. I don't plan on seeing Captain Marvel.
You don't think anything will actually...
If you see Captain Marvel at all, it'll probably be because I drag you guys in for a review of it.
Fair enough.
Probably.
You know what the thing is? Thinking back to Endgame...
Yeah?
Do you really think anything would have actually really changed in the movie if she wasn't even there?
Not really.
They probably would have kept getting blown down by Thanos' ship, but...
Even then, someone will probably come out there, smash this crap.
Ant-Man probably could have thrown someone up there.
Or Thor at more power.
Oh yeah, Thor and... Well, I would say Captain America, but... he had Mjolnir and he had thunder power, but...
Okay, alright, just one more... No. I'm trying to think of, do I add one more thing to this, or just leave it alone for now?
Probably leave it alone. I think we've gone on long enough.
Fair enough.
We ended up divulging into Marvel again.
Let's just
Marvel.
Let's just end it. Let's end this.
Endgame?
Yeah. Let's end the cinematic universe of Marvel.
That'd be nice, because... Anyway, back to the podcast.
Let's let DC have some love. Let's have Godzilla have some love. Let's have Godzilla have tons of love. I want more.
Some people are
Godzilla
still...
and Pokemon?
Some people are still saying that Spider-Man Far From Home is the end of Phase 3?
Spider-Man Far From Home is the beginning of Phase 4.
It is what
I don't want to talk about Marvel anymore.
Neither do I. Come on, let's go back to Godzilla.
We're going to talk about Marvel next week.
Let's go back to Godzilla and Pikachu, can we? Please? Can we please?
We're basically done with this podcast.
Okay, good. Let's end this. Let's end this now. Tyler, there is one thing I did want to talk to you about. I just got an idea when we saw the movie today.
What?
We'll take the stock footage from the older Godzilla movies, and we dub them over our lines over the monster fights. Because
there's some things I want to dub over in this movie specifically, like at the very end when Rodan lands in front of Godzilla, and Godzilla's just like trying to start shit, bitch. And Rodan's just like,
May I shine your shoes, sir?
Because I totally got one when he was fighting, Mothra was fighting Rodan.
What?
And Mothra gets him with a stinger. Like, shit. Shit. Bitch. That's Mothra saying that about Rodan. Bitch.
Rodan is a bitch.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah. Shit.
Alright.
Next week's X-Men.
That's gonna be a doozy.
And we're not talking about Caitlyn Jenner.
Meanwhile, I'm going to go on a new journey of kaiju. Is that a giant turtle outside?
Oh, and for the record, the soundtrack is awesome in this movie.
Oh, God, yes. I'm getting the soundtrack.
I love the soundtrack. Classic themes, new stuff.
Rescored versions of the classic themes.
Busted knee. No, I've got a busted knee right now. That's definitely going to be a bruise. Watch where you step, kids.